Good morning, this is Tom at Talon Guitar Works, and today is part 2 of the Mexican Strat rework. This is the Stratocaster a customer brought in, body. He wanted the different, the Babbage tremolo system on it instead of the Fender tremolo system. He wanted a Mite neck with a 12-inch neck radius and the modified profile on the back of it. And these are made in Indonesia. They're really nice necks, and this is what we're going to cover today. Now, the first thing I did when I got the neck was I got my hoops, my little neck radius gauges, and I measured every single space to make sure that we had a 12-inch radius. Because if you don't have a 12-inch radius or the radius that's prescribed for the fretboard and the fret is bent into that, you have the potential, extreme potential of having a high or low fret right there, which is going to make things really tough later on. So I checked all that, it was all good. Then I got my little StewMac fret rocker and I rocked all the frets, and I found out that the second fret on the fretboard was high. So I didn't go and hammer it down. I have a fret press. I went over to my fret press. I had looked at the fret. It looked like there was a little bit of a line where it was a separation. I reset it, and voila, there was no more high fret there. So that fret, it just needed to be seated correctly. The next thing I did was I checked the sides of the frets, and I went, man, they're sharp. I could feel them. I do have the files to do the edges of the frets. The files are more for a refret. Once these frets have been put in the guitar and they've been there and the factory went over them, there's a little sharp spot, the fastest way is with the edge of the sanding beam that I do for the fret level and dress. And by just running and I did a video on this before, just by running this down the side, you'll hear the tone change where you stop sanding metal. Now, the reason I sand this and get it smooth instead of file it is whenever you file metal, you push a burr to one side. So you're constantly pushing that burr back and forth from one side to the other, and it's gonna feel sharp. When you start sanding and removing less material and smaller particles, you could actually get rid of that burr. So, you know, metal shop guys, machinists have deburring tools to take burrs off of metal that they've just drilled or cut. It's the same thing. Just take the burr off the edge and all of a sudden it's smooth. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set the neck in the body. And you see how it's in there. It goes straight down into the pocket. If you're pushing your neck in this way, you're going to get that crack right there. This one doesn't have it, but that's what causes that crack 9 times out of 10. So basically, just straight down into the body. We're going to flip it over. And I'm going to adjust my camera for this. Like that smooth camera work, right? Now this is in there nice and solid. I'm going to take my Pittsburgh punch set that I got from Harbor Freight, and these things are like 15 bucks and worth every penny. I'm going to get the correct diameter and drop it through, and then I'm just going to tap it, and I'm going to go through all 4 spots, all 4 screw holes with that, and that's going to leave me my pre-drill spot. It's going to be hard to see, but that little dimple right there, the dimples, so I could pre-drill this neck to mount it. Now, this tool, which I'm not sure you might be able to still get these, this is a neck center line tool. And any of the guys that are building kits that ask my advice, what do you think about building a kit? The biggest mistake I've ever seen on kit-built guitars is people mounting the neck off center. Now, if you could see that line, you'll notice that that line splits exactly in half that saddle, right? Or 3 saddles to the right of it, 3 saddles to the left, and the center line is right there. If your neck is tilted, and right there we're a little bit off to this side, we can get way off to this side because that's the sharper side, that's going to cause your strings to run off the side of your fretboard. And that's the biggest problem. Guys will put these kit guitars together and they'll go, oh, my strings run off the side of my fretboard. Well, when you mounted the neck, did you put masking tape down on the body or have the bridge mounted first and then get your center line done with your neck and make sure it was completely straight before you did any of that stuff? The answer is usually, yeah, I didn't do that. Well, if you could still get one of these neck center lines and you're going to build a lot of guitars or you're going to build a lot of kits, this is worth every penny. I think I paid $27 for it. You could probably look at it and figure out how to build one yourself if you're a real smart guy. So now my neck is prepped for installation on this, except for one thing. I haven't put the tuning machines on, and we're going to be using Spurzl locking tuners. And that's the way I get the Spurzls because I'm an OEM builder. I don't need all the fancy packaging that's going to, attract me to Spurzl. I already know that Spurzl is the original locking tuner, and it was designed and it's still manufactured entirely in the United States in Cleveland, Ohio. They are a great company to work with, and I order my tuning machines by the box from Spurzl. So I've never had a problem with them and never had them come back. So on the next video, I'm going to prep the back of the neck for the tuning machine fang that has to be drilled in there because these are a fanged tuning machine like the Fender. This one's only got a center fang versus the 2 outside fangs the Fender's got. And we're going to be putting those in, and then part 3, that's part 3, and then part 4 is going to be assembling this sucker and getting it set up and everything. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Hit the subscribe button. We are almost there to becoming a paid channel, and because I really don't want to get paid, I would like to give it back to everybody who's subscribed. Whatever we get is going to go out, and that seems like a good thing to do, especially in these times. So, like the video, share it, tell your friends, and come back and see us.